All right, let's get into it. Today, we are going all the way back to the very beginning of a TV legend to really dig into the galaxy being. This was the first ever episode of The Outer Limits, and wow, what a way to start. It's all about first contact, our own human flaws, and a question that, let's be honest, still kind of haunts us. Are we really ready for what's out there? Let's dive deep. So picture this. It's 1963. You're sitting in front of your family's TV, and suddenly these words cut through whatever you were watching. I mean, talk about unsettling. It's not a suggestion, it's a command. And it's a promise that for the next hour, your reality, yeah, that's not yours anymore. And that whole control thing wasn't just some spooky gimmick, you know? It was the core promise of the entire show. For the next hour, they had your perception of reality in their hands. They were going to control the horizontal, control the vertical, and they were going to take you right to the bleeding edge of what you thought was even possible. Okay, so our story is all about this guy, Alan Maxwell. He's a brilliant, maybe a little too brilliant scientist who runs this tiny radio station, KXVI, out in the middle of the desert. But for Alan, playing the hits and running ads is just the day job. His real work, his secret passion, is pointing his equipment at the stars and listening. And this number, 50%, that tells you everything you need to know about his obsession. He is secretly siphoning half of the station's entire power output for these experiments of his. That's a massive risk. He's literally draining the life out of his family's business, all to chase some whisper from space he can't even be sure is real. And that's where you get the real human drama of the episode, right? It's this fundamental conflict. You got Alan on one side, who is so convinced his work is more important than anything else on Earth. And then you have his wife, Carol, who just sees this obsession as this cold, strange thing that's stealing her husband and tearing their family apart. And this is how Alan justifies it all. It's a classic defense of the lone genius, isn't it? He's arguing that the universe doesn't give up its secrets to massive corporations or big government projects. Nope, it reveals them to the passionate individuals. The nobodies, the ones who just care enough to actually listen. So what does he get for all this trouble and obsession? This, a signal coming from the Pegasus constellation that he's somehow managed to translate into a 3D image on his monitor. He calls it electricity frozen. It's not just random static. It's structured, it's eerie, and it is absolutely undeniably alien. Okay, and this is where everything pivots. The episode stops being just a mystery about a weird signal, and it turns into this incredibly deep philosophical conversation. Because Alan Maxwell doesn't just see the signal, he starts talking to it. Alan kicks things off with the most basic question you can ask, right? He's trying to find some kind of common ground, but the being's answer just shatters his whole worldview right from the get-go. Its life isn't like ours, at all. It's based on something called a nitrocycle, a totally different way of existing. From there, the questions just get deeper and more profound. Alan tries to explain death as, the end of being, no more thoughts. And the alien's response is just staggering. It basically says, death? That's a bug in your carbon-based system. For it, there is no end. Its electromagnetic waves just go on forever, to infinity. And then, of course, he has to ask the big one. Alan tries to explain God as this single, super smart, all-powerful creator. But the alien, it just can't wrap its mind around it. The idea of an intelligence that's separate from the universe itself, that's a completely foreign concept. This table really breaks down that huge gap between them. You see, for the alien, all these concepts that we see as separate things, like intelligence, matter, space, and time, they're all part of one unified whole. So from its point of view, God isn't some being who made the universe. God is the universe. It's infinity itself. But right in the middle of this mind-blowing conversation, things take a really dark turn. The being reveals that its civilization has a strict, no-contact policy when it comes to Earth. And the reason? Well, it's chilling. They see us, humanity, as a threat, a danger to other galaxies because of our capacity for violence. And wouldn't you know it, right after we get this terrifying cosmic perspective on ourselves, a very, very human mistake is about to prove the alien completely right. This philosophical chat is about to become a physical, terrifying reality. So, enter Eddie Phillips. He's this hotshot relief DJ. Alan hires him for one night and gives him one single, absolutely crucial instruction. do not touch the power controls. So, what do you think is the first thing Eddie does when he gets a chance? Yep, he cranks the transmitter all the way up. And that one simple, dumb move sets off this catastrophic chain of events. The power surge is so massive, it turns Alan's communication device into a matter transporter. It literally rips the alien being apart, atom by atom, drags it across the galaxy, and slams it back together inside the radio station. So this thing arrives, right? It's confused, it's in pain. It accidentally hurt someone with the radiation it's giving off. And humanity's first response? It's immediate, it's predictable, and it's violent. The orders come down and they are crystal clear. Kill it. Destroy the thing we don't understand. So here we are in the climax. The galaxy being is being hunted down, it's cornered. But even as it's facing total destruction, it uses its very last moments to deliver one last, incredibly powerful message. Its final message isn't a threat or a curse. It's a plea. It's an urgent warning from a being with a truly cosmic perspective. It's telling us that our obsession with force is making us blind to the real powers of the universe. It's begging us to stop fighting and start exploring, to meet the unknown with curiosity, not with a weapon. And this is really the show's final thought, its thesis statement, spoken by the narrator as the alien disintegrates itself, just to escape. It is the ultimate moral of the story. Our survival as a species doesn't depend on our weapons. It depends on our ability to understand things that are different from us. Which just leaves us with the question this episode dropped on audiences back in 1963, a question that honestly feels even more relevant today. If first contact happened, right now, would we react any differently? Would we meet the unknown with understanding, or would we meet it with that same old fear and force? That is the challenge the galaxy being leaves us all with. Thanks so much for joining me.